Assalamu alaikum, students and friends. We revisit one application of Newton's second law of motion. A vehicle rounding a bank curved road assumed to be frictionless. Does the banking angle of a curved road depend on the mass of the vehicle? To find this out, just stick around, watch and learn. The problem is a 1,125 kilogram car and a 2,250 kilogram pickup truck approach a curve on a highway that has a radius of 225 meters. Question letter A. At what angle should the highway engineer bank this curve so that vehicles traveling at 65.0 miles per hour can safely round it regardless of the conditions of their tires? Follow-up question to part A. Should the heavy truck go slower than the lighter car? Question letter B. As the car and truck round the curve at 65.0 miles per hour, find the normal force on each one due to the highway surface. The masses of the car and the truck are 1,125 kilogram and 2,250 kilogram, respectively. The curved road has a radius capital R equal to 225 meters. Both the car and the truck are rounding the curve at a tangential speed v equals 65.0 miles per hour, which, when converted to meters per second, is equivalent to 28.9 meters per second. The target variables are, in part A, the bank angle denoted by theta, and in part B, the normal forces denoted by NC, the normal force exerted on the car, and NT, the normal force exerted on the truck. As illustrated in this figure, the force exerted by the surface of the inclined road or the bank road is perpendicular to the road surface, right? And it makes an angle theta with respect to the positive y-axis, right? Whatever is the angle of inclination, also known as the bank angle, okay, theta, this angle theta here between the normal force and the positive y-axis are just the same. And the other force exerted on the car, of course, is the gravitational force or the weight of the vehicle, which is directed in the negative y-axis, right? Now, the normal force has an x component or before the x component, it has a y component, right? Expressed as the normal force N multiplied by uh, cosine of the bunk angle theta, right? And since they are equal in magnitude to the weight of the vehicle, but opposite in directions, so uh, we say that the summation of the vertical forces acting on the car is equal to zero. In other words, the car is in state of static equilibrium vertically, all right? Or we say that the y component of the normal force, or N times cosine theta, is just equal to the weight mg. On the other hand, the only force acting along the horizontal, or we consider this as the net force along the horizontal, okay, represented here by summation of fx, right? This is expressed as the normal force multiplied by sine of the bunk angle theta, or n sine theta, okay? Um, this x component of the normal force comes about because the curved road is bunk, all right? So even in the absence of uh, static friction, in other words, even if the road is mostly ice, right? Because of this x component of the normal force, okay, there is what we call a centripetal force, right? That will be acting on the car, causing it to accelerate radially, right? Or in the direction of the center of curvature, right? Without this x component of the normal force, and if there is no what we call bunking or bunk angle, say for example, if the road is just perfectly flat, right? Rounding a curved road, okay, the vehicle or any vehicle will have to rely on static friction for it to be able to maneuver a perfect circular turn, all right? But in here, because of the bank angle, A, uh, causing a, what we call, x component of the normal force, okay, we are able to get the needed centripetal force, okay, that will cause the car to have a radial or centripetal acceleration for it to perfectly uh, round the curve, even in the absence of friction, right? So our goal now is to determine this bank angle theta, all right? And we can do that by simply dividing the summation of fx equation by the summation of fy equation. That is, when we divide n sine theta by n cosine theta, of course, we will get tangent theta. But before that, we are emphasizing that the centripetal force that is needed by a body to make a perfect round, all right, about this curve, okay, in the absence of friction, okay, it is the centripetal force, all right, provided here by the x component of the normal force, all right? So again, dividing n sine theta by n cosine theta will give us tangent theta, all right? And of course, dividing m times a sub r by mg, okay, will give us um, the radial acceleration a sub r divided by acceleration due to gravity, right? In other words, we come up with the working formula in determining the bank angle theta, right? This is tangent theta is just equal to the square of v divided by the product of g and capital R, where v here is what we call the tangential speed or velocity of the vehicle that is making the round, okay, along this bank curve, while of course g is acceleration due to gravity, and capital R is the radius of curvature or radius of the circular path. So using this working formula for determining the bank angle theta, which is equal to the inverse of the tangent of the ratio v squared over gr. That is, the bank angle theta equals the inverse of the tangent of the ratio 28.9 meter per second, and that will be squared first and then divided by the product of 9.81 meter per second squared and 225 meters. So when we do our math, we're able to simplify this to uh, the inverse of the tangent of 835 meters squared per second squared divided by 2,000, 210 meters squared per second squared, right? Both rounded to three significant figures. So we finally get the value of the bank angle theta equal to 20.7 degrees, right? In three significant figures. For the follow-up question in part A, we say that the heavy truck doesn't have to go slower than the lighter car. Okay. In the equation for banking angle here, the mass of the vehicle is irrelevant or immaterial, right? For a given radius, no one angle is correct for all speeds. And in the design of highways, curves are often bank for the average speed of the traffic over them. So moving on now to the question in part B, finding the normal force exerted on the car, that's denoted by N sub C, and the normal force exerted on the truck ends of t. All right? So we just use the formula for the normal force. In the case of the car, N sub c is equal to the product of its mass, mc, and acceleration due to gravity, divided by the cosine of the bank angle, theta. Or that is, N sub c is equal to 1,125 kilogram multiplied by 9.81 meter per second squared, and then divided by the cosine of the bank angle 20.7 degrees. So when we do our math, we get the value of the normal force exerted by the road surface on the car equal to 11,800 newtons, rounded to three significant figures. So finally, for the truck, the normal force on the truck is equal to 2,250 kilogram. That's the mass of the truck, multiplied by G, 9.81 meter per second squared, and then divide it by cosine of the bank angle 20.7 degrees. So, simplifying, we finally get the value of the normal force exerted by the road surface on the truck equal to 23,600 newtons, also rounded to three significant figures. And as expected, the normal force for the more massive truck is greater than the normal force for the less massive car. Right? This is true when they are rounding at the same speed, about the same bank angle, and the same radius of the circular path. So on this note, may I say mabuhay till the next episode. MashaAllah. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alhamdulillah.